Welcome back to Ride JBI. This is JB. Today we finished a suspension revalve on this 2022 Kawasaki KX250. The suspension was revalved to our JBI suspension, amateur, Arenacross, and Supercross setting. Our amateur Arenacross / Supercross setting is a little bit softer than our normal pro level Arenacross and Supercross setting. Reason being is these riders aren't taking often the same jumping lines or rhythms, or going as fast through the track, especially the loops. Because of that, these riders aren't going to need nearly as much compression resistance, but they will as they build up speed through experience and time. So after this season, when this rider sends it back in their suspension to get it rebuilt for next year, is likely when we will talk to them, reassess their setup, how much speed and experience that they've gained, and then adjust it for next season. That way their suspension setup can grow with the rider. The forks are the KYB SSS, and the shock is a matching KYB shock as well. The forks we utilize are JBI Titanium Pro Perch. These improve the fork bottoming resistance of the forks, which is very important in these Arenacross and Supercross applications. There's a product page on ridejbi.com that details exactly what the JBI Titanium Pro Perch is, how it works, and why it works. A notable upgrade on the shock is the bladder cap that we utilize. We use a bladder cap with a Schrader valve because the stock bladder cap uses a self-sealing rubber plug. Those often fail and leak out the nitrogen, which really limits the performance of the shock. So the bladder cap is a good upgrade for one, encapsulating the gas better, easier to check, and more reliable. Of course, the shock has been revalved to a matching JBI suspension, amateur, Arenacross, and Supercross setting. For this rider, we went up 1 rate on the spring rates over the stock springs. For motocross, the stock springs are pretty on point for the rider this size. However, we want some additional compression resistance for this type of riding, so we are up 1 rate on the forks and 1 rate on the shock. Ride JBI has also tested, tuned, and developed many other suspension settings for this Kawasaki KX250 dirt bike. We have developed suspension settings for all the various types of off-road riding, motocross, supercross, Arenacross, and freestyle motocross. If you'd like Ride JBI to do your suspension, please give us a call or send us an email. We can discuss the year, make, and model bike that you have, which options would be most advantageous for you. All JBI suspension services and parts can be found at ridejbi.com.